Show us right from wrong. Show us right from where we go. Indicate with the guiding light. Do you know?
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a special treat that anyone can enjoy. Just like Final Fantasy, you need little to no knowledge to enjoy this wonderful JRPG experience on a Nintendo Switch. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 tackles the JRPG formula with a few unique tricks, as everything you will do in the world of Alres feels rewarding. However, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 challenges predecessors of Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to find out shortly. Story. I'm going to do this story part of the video quick and fast without spoilers and only give you the first hour or so to avoid any more speculation. Cool British teenager with the ability of being one of the world's greatest salvagers gets tasked to go on a 200,000 mission. Then finds an epic character named Pyrrha as they team up through Alres. The voice acting is pretty spectacular and it reminds me of Dragon Quest 7, and the cutscenes have improved from previous installments. They have more models, more animations to them. All of the characters so far are pretty likable, but this guy was designed by Tetsuya Nomura, from the designer of Kingdom Hearts franchise, and he is so badass for no reason. The story is easy to follow and it's arguably about the game's pacing. It took me to almost 2 hours before shit got real. That's up to you to decide when you pick up the game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Handheld uses a very aggressive dynamic resolution to the point where it looks incredibly pixelated in open areas. I wouldn't recommend playing this in handheld, but unless it's your only option. In some instances, dock mode for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 would sometimes cut off the screen, thus making a few menus not accessible, but honestly, it's a very small and minor in some areas, and some parts you barely notice unless you're really thinking about it. Best suggestion is to make sure you have your TV settings set right and properly from the get-go. Personally, I just said don't play in dock mode, but I love having a JRPG on the go. I can lay down and I can be on the toilet while playing a game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 dock is my preferred way to go for me because having a clean RPG on the go is worth it for the few issues that it has and the downgrades that come with it. What's good? What's poppin', everybody? It's Avataryaya, and today I'm talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 gameplay. The gameplay has a big different outlook and direction than the previous games, and honestly, each game has its own different oriented style. Xenoblade being the classic that started it all, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being more timely and fast-paced and having different ways of doing it, and you also have Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Now, Xenoblade Chronicles X, what I loved about it was the different weapons from the get-go you can switch and go to. It felt more different style than anime and you can switch on the fly. So far, after 5 hours in of playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you only have still the main weapon or that type of weapon and you can't really switch on the fly. I think Xenoblade Chronicles 2 caters more so to original Shulk Xenoblade fans. While Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has the same attack system and battle-like system as Xenoblade Chronicles X, I do believe Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a very good way of doing it. A lot of people that love Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade Chronicles X, it started differently. Like Xenoblade Chronicles was perfect, and then it seems like in this installment that they're holding your hand a little bit in certain areas, that they're giving you too much leeway to do anything, and it's just like helping you progress through the game. Some enemies are tougher than others, and sometimes the AI is really unfair when you're fighting enemies. Like 1 minute you can aggro 4, then 8 come in and they all attack just your character. They don't even fight no other members of the team. It's rather annoying and tedious because you have to sometimes abort missions. Therefore, it's called it a GG. So do I believe Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being better than Xenoblade Chronicles X, and do I recommend this game? One, I highly recommend this game. It's probably one of the best Nintendo Switch games, at least so far in my opinion. Top 5, top 10 that has came out thus far. But comparing it to the other games in the franchise, I want to put it as Xenoblade. Well, I'm not a big fan of the first one, to be honest with you guys. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. Just at that time growing up, I was playing other games, so I could be misjudging this here. I want to be 100% honest with everybody that watches this review. But I want to tell you guys straight out and straightforward that in my opinion, if I had to rate these games, I want to go ahead and put my favorite is Xenoblade Chronicles X, then is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then Xenoblade. Generally, some areas are better, Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I would say out of the 3 games, in terms of just overall completionist from like a certain amount of playtime, at least 5 hours in of judging each game, you get more to offer in Xenoblade Chronicles X than you do in the other installments. With Xenoblade Chronicles, it was much more of a solid game with better voice acting and better overall, characters. And then in Xenoblade Chronicles, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you get pretty much a dynamic, well-rounded game. So there's pros and cons to this. My big issue with the game, IGN had a review and they were complaining about like the gameplay or something like that. Like you couldn't find a way to how to navigate throughout the stages. And to be honest with you, that was dumb on IGN's part or whatever said they couldn't navigate through it. And I think it was Kotaku, maybe that either. It was one of the two, so don't attack me there. I can't remember which source it was. But I do want to say that that's a really bad argument to make. Like, they teach you how to get in and out of every location quick, fast, and in a hurry. A big issue that I have with it is when you have multiple quests in one area, it tends to make it hard to navigate, to tell you which way to go. But they do tell you if it's above, low, or down. Perfect, they do it fine. What would I give Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I will give Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a 7.8 out of 10, an 8 out of 10. I think that's my final choice. It's a very good game. It's very well done. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, and it lacks some places, a lot of things, but a lot of things, it's really anime. And that's what I look for with my JRPGs. Is it anime? So I'm out here. Comment, subscribe. Tell me how you guys feel. Yaya out. Goodbye. See you guys later and peace. See y'all later and peace.